Someone has to do something, someone like yourself, you're doing this investigation, which I'm really thankful.
Brian, are you a professional tenant?
The NBC10 investigators are continuing to expose these professional tenants. And as we've told you over the past year, lawyers and police use that term for people who are making a living by taking advantage of property owners thanks to tenant protections. They use the law to get away with not paying rent for years and even some cases, decades. Our NBC10 investigator Ryan Kath first highlighted the topic, and now he's uncovered a new issue. Now, even though the professional tenants do everything possible not to pay for housing, you, the taxpayers, are still helping to pick up the tab.
Leo Bihaj and his wife Irina are still recovering financially from an expensive and regrettable decision.
I say to my friends, from an American dream, it can become an American nightmare.
When the couple immigrated here from Albania, they settled in Ipswich. Years later, they decided to purchase this home in Reading. The plan was to rent it for a couple of years and then move in so their 2 kids could attend high school in that community.
And I was a new landlord.
Their first tenants were Brian Coombs and his wife, Nicole. Almost immediately, there were complaints about the house and the rent checks stopped.
That's what I knew who I was dealing with.
And so began a 2-year odyssey through housing court, with Brian Coombs representing himself and seemingly knowing every trick in the book to delay the eventual eviction.
He goes to the court like he works there.
Leo, a branch manager at a bank, took on a second job as an Uber driver to pay the bills and avoid foreclosure.
How good are they at what they do?
They're professionals. These people are doing this 20 years. These people have PhD. They have everything how to screw the system.
You heard right. The NBC10 investigators found the Coombs have 12 eviction cases in Massachusetts.
Well, we had a problem with them on Mount Pleasant Street. It got really bad really fast.
That property on Mount Pleasant Street in Woburn was a duplex Peter Amato's father bought to help him and his brother get on their feet as they started their careers.
They just didn't know what to do.
When Peter and his wife Terry moved out in 2004, the Coombs moved in and almost immediately stopped paying the rent.
We can't get rid of them.
After months of legal costs and lost rent, Peter says his family finally made a painful decision.
It was cheaper to give them $20,000 and tell them they get lost.
The fact that they're still doing this, what does that say about the system?
I think the system is no good.
And we found the Coombs still appear to be working that system. Since we started our investigation in March, records show they've been fighting to stay inside this home in Burlington.
Your Honor, we have a situation where we've been dealing with a professional tenant, not a...
Bob Lee is the attorney who's trying to get them evicted.
Because their whole entire goal is just to stay on the property as long as possible, paying the least amount of money possible.
And get this. Despite their extensive track record of not paying rent, housing court records show taxpayers provided more than $23,000 of rental assistance at the home in Burlington. The state also kicked in another $13,000 of public money at the previous property in Reading.
Why is that possible? You would think there'd be some more strict scrutiny as to kind of what's going on with the applicants.
The last time we were in court, I filed a notice of appeal.
We observed a recent hearing where Brian Coombs argued his case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then we approached him outside of court.
Some folks contact us about you. They say you're a professional tenant who hasn't paid rent for about the past 20 years. What's your response to that?
That's not true. I use the law, and the law helps me do what I need to do.
How would you say you're using the law to your advantage to avoid paying rent?
I don't avoid paying rent. I use the law to my advantage when people don't fix things that are supposed to fix things. That's why I'm here today.
What do you say to the property owners that have lost tens of thousands of dollars to you over the years? What do you say to them?
They should fix things when they're broken.
Brian, why should taxpayers kick in money for your rent? How is that fair to taxpayers?
Leo says his family lost $95,000 dealing with the professional tenants and had to sell the home in Reading and begin to climb out of debt. The last text message he received from Brian, a middle finger emoji on eviction day.
We provide him the house for free. The funds to move left and right, taxpayer money. You go to court, he doesn't pay a fee because it's an eviction. I'm paying the fee. Welcome to America. What can I say? Free everything.
The state's Office of Executive Housing says because of privacy laws, it can't discuss individual recipients of rental assistance. We're pushing to find out if there's any screening of eviction records before that money is approved. Ryan Kath, NBC10 Investigators.